So my shop truck journey didn't start here, or even here. Honestly, it kind of started right here. I bought an $800 1966 rusted out F100. We took the front clip off, the cab, and the bed. Next episode, we'll roll the Crown Vic in here and start hacking. So then come the tedious part of grafting the two of these together. So after trimming, fitting, refitting, trimming, we finally were able to start getting something that resembled a friggin' shop truck. Then it was time to start tying everything together. So now that this thing's looking awesome, we gotta solve the next big problem. We gotta fit a motor. Let me tell you guys a little bit about what we got right here. I reached out to a company based out of California called Range Industries. If you guys don't know about them, they specialize in manufacturing parts for trucks, off-road vehicles, SUVs, tent racks, all this and more, guys. So if you would, check out their website. It's range-industries.com. And they were more than gracious than to hook me up with several parts that will help speed up the build on my F100 shop truck. And what we got here is the power steering hoses, as well as the adapter fittings that allow the LS power steering pump to be able to connect to the Crown Vic steering rack itself. High pressure hose, the return hose, the adapter, the fittings, clamps. We also got some LS motor mounts with the hardware, as well as, it's like a Corvette style bushing, so to speak. And that will bolt into that. And this right here will bolt into the Crown Vic front subframe, basically just like it was meant to go in there from the factory. And the welds are nice, the powder coating is nice on the product. So the motor mount itself, and this little piece right here is 1/8 inch. The rest of this whole entire mount is 1/4 inch thick. And if you're doing a Crown Vic swap, they also offer a Mustang electric steering rack. You can do away with the power steering pump altogether, and it's also a faster ratio. I appreciate them supporting us, so in return, if we can support them, check it out. They might have some off-roading, overland, resto mod, suspension, conversion fittings and adapters, mounts, all that and more. Check them out. Company located in California. They were gracious enough to send this and support the build. And there's tons of big channels, so I really appreciate a company that will help support a smaller channel. We just hit 10,000 subscribers. So having said all that, we got the mounts, we got the bushings. We need to take that, get it mounted in the truck. Let's go. where I stand right now is I got the motor almost in the correct position. Transmission is jacked up with the jack on the other side. Here's the problem I'm running into. I have got the motor back is about as far as I really want to go back with it. The problem is right here I am off 2.5 inches between that hole and that bolt that's going to line up in that bushing. And you see my clearance between the crank pulley and the radiator shroud. This will go forward some more once it's actually bolted in place. It's just kind of leaning, so we got more clearance than what it actually looks like. But I'm thinking the easiest fix for this, these motor mounts. So depending on which side of the engine you put the mounts, you can see there, this mount is at the front bolt. Same right here. This mount is at the front bolt. If we take them mounts and swap sides with them, that'll basically allow you to position the engine far back or farther forward. So swapping those mounts should tweak it enough that once we swap sides, we'll have to move the engine forward maybe an inch, inch and a half, and that should still give us plenty of clearance for the radiator fan and shroud and the radiator. So what I'm going to do is do that quick off camera, and then I'll touch base with you guys and let you guys see. All right, so check this out. The engine is in. Well, actually the engine and the transmission is in. I got the truck jacked up front and back, obviously. Here you can get a closer look of the mounts. Sitting flush. Nice new hardware. Both sides. So flipping the motor mount brackets around worked perfect. Right now the transmission is not mounted because I have to modify the factory cross member and make it where it'll bolt up to the transmission mount on this TH350. And so right now it's sitting down a little bit. Once I jack up the transmission and start mocking that up, get the engine sitting a little bit more close to the actual height that it'll be. And once we get that done, then we can measure for a drive shaft. And yeah, kind of running out of time for this afternoon, so I'll catch you guys in the next clip. Well guys, if you want to build hot rods, project cars, drift cars, drag cars, and yeah, be prepared to get under, to get out, out, in, back in, back out. And now I've pretty much perfected it to an art. The easiest way is not to slide in, it's to roll in like this. Just like that. Get where you need to go, you need something else. The reason I can tell you guys this is because I've shimmied out, I've crawled out. The best way is to just roll. Just like this. See how that works? So here's my current factory Crown Vic transmission cross member. Very beefy. Already has spots right here cut out, or it's already shaped to let the exhaust flow. Dual exhaust if you wanted to do that. Very beefy. No need me cutting this out and building a complete custom one. So what I'm going to do is, here is my TH350 trans mount. I am going to build out of some 1/4 inch angle iron. I'll build a bracket and I'm going to cut it here. And then I'll make a bracket there. I'll weld the back side, and I'll also put a brace on the top. Not sure if you guys can see this, but like I was saying, I'll cut it here to match this. I'll cut it here, and I will have to add a piece right here, weld it to it, drill my 2 holes, 1, 2. Obviously I'll square this off, you know, cut it somewhere along there and down. And then on the top side up here, I will make a bracket, or I'll basically tie this piece in to the top up here because it's almost flush. And then obviously when I take the transmission cross member out, I can weld the back side of this here and on the other side. I have measured the rear axle angle as well as the transmission, and the drive shaft that came in the Crown Vic's laying back there. I didn't film it, but I got it into position and then measured my angle to make sure I was within tolerance, and it's like on the money. So let's make some marks, get to cutting, welding, and then I'll touch base with you guys in a second. Well, for any of you guys who may be wondering, why does it seem like he doesn't get more progress done? Let me just be completely 100% real with you guys, because crap takes a long time when it's aggravating. I've been out here for at least 3 hours fighting with this transmission cross member, using torches, chisels. So yeah, I've been using crowbars, chisels, torch, WD-40, hopes and prayers. Finally, this is the jewel that's been fighting. That's at least 100-pound cross member.
What you think of that?
I think this is why projects take so long. Since little jobs, it should be a 15-minute job to get this out. I love it, man. My dream shop truck. This is more like my nightmare shop truck. Now we can proceed with today's plans. Got plenty of room to get a socket on the bolts. Got it braced in here. Got it welded to the backside there and there. Got this angle iron welded on the backside there and there. And then we got another plate tied in to the trans cross member and the angle iron, as well as kind of a plug or rosette weld in the inside 2 holes. And that, you can see the 2 hot spots is welded into there. So we'll clean that up just a tad bit more, and once we get it primed or painted, then we'll test fit it in the truck. I got my son to help me going back in with this trans cross member after we welded it. Reinforced the brackets on it, painted it, and then I cleaned up the inside so that it would slip in easier because it had, you know, a little bit of dirt and debris and stuff, I guess is why it was hard to get out. But here's a little look. So there's where the cross member bolts to the trans. If you remember, it's rosette welded in there, angle iron here, welded along the front. This brace right here is welded on both sides. And then you got this top piece up here. If you remember, it's the top of the angle iron. We welded in another piece here that ties in. That's the same piece that is welded, rosette welded right there, you see. So I feel pretty dang confident about that it ain't going nowhere. And here you can see, looks like we have a good bit of clearance for our manifolds. But we can officially say the motor and transmission is in the truck, in the shop truck, under its own weight. See the Range Industries mounts, new hardware, both sides, new hardware, fit awesome. And as you probably seen in the video, depending on which way you mount those on the motor, you can have the engine sitting a little bit further back or a little bit further forward. Bam. So that's where we're gonna call it for this video. Again, shout out to Range Industries for supplying that. That way all I had to do was fabricate a way to adapt the factory cross member to the trans. I want to seam seal the firewall, wiring harness, and maybe in the next video to 2 videos, we'll do the first startup on this thing. Still got a long ways to go, but we are a whole lot further than what we was. Thank you guys for watching. Dusty Mac is signing out. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.